Good morning, Laura. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing a picture of my desk on the YouTubes because the broadcast studio behind me shows the desk and the camera is on. Let me refresh the iPad and see if that helps. Otherwise, it's going to be a pain if I can't see the chat. Let me know if you guys can see the desk or not. It's all black. Yeah, that's okay. Hold on a second. The screen is black. Yeah, hold on. I don't know what's going on. It's very weird. It's still black. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try one other thing. The gremlins are definitely loose. Now you can see my face, but that wasn't what I wanted to show you. I mean, we could do it, just chat with the camera video, but let's see. Oh, yay, now it's working. Okay. That's crazy. See, this is why I try to come on a couple minutes early. All of you early birds get to see the technical glitches. All right. So how is everybody today? I don't have anything specific in mind. Not that I usually ever do have anything specific in mind, but I have a lot of little things I need to do today. I needed to start a storage box for the 2021 daily sketchbooks and little art journals. So if you don't follow me on social media, then you might not be aware that I do. It started as just daily drawing. It's kind of morphed into other stuff now, but I do a daily drawing or daily journal page downstairs after dinner every night and then post them to social media. So right now I'm doing these little sketchbooks and I have these old like art prompt lists this one's from 2018 that I never got to. So I'm kind of playing catch up. And then I take the word for the day and then I do a little drawing or something inspired by the word every day. I fill up the book till I'm done with the month. Sometimes I'll do an extra one on the blank page in the back. Sometimes I don't. And then this one is done for my Facebook group, My Creative Year. And we have a similar kind of list of words. And for that one, I'm doing sort of a journal 2-page spread in these Moleskine cahiers. And I do one a month. And I share them on social media. So if you want to follow me on social media, look at my Linktree list of links down in the video description. I also have an email newsletter and an Etsy shop and all that stuff. And FYI, while we're on the subject, the Etsy shop stamps and stencils are on sale until the 20th of February. They're 25% off. So if you want them, get them now. All right. So anyway, I need a box to store these in because by the end of the year, I have a lot of these little journals and it looks nicer on the shelf and a little neater and cleaner if I have a box to store them in. So I have a K-cup coffee pot and I take the boxes the K-cups come in and I cover them with paper and I make these little sort of file storage boxes every few months to store the journals in. This one I glued up yesterday and it's dry now, but I need to wax it. So we're going to do that first. Oh, Laura, I'm sorry. We've had that. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. And yeah, well, all I can say is that the art helps keep me from having my anxiety go like off the rails. Most days, not always. Most days. So this is Dorland's wax medium. Yeah. You can use regular like Daddy Van's wax, which Shannon Green, of course, has turned all of us art journals onto. The difference between Dorland's and Daddy Van's or another beeswax based wax medium is when Dorland's dries, it doesn't like reconstitute with heat and melt. Once it's dry, that's it. It's dry on there. You don't need a lot either. Oh, that's terrible, Laura. My mother-in-law has had some health issues. Not the least of which is COVID, but anyway, she's fine. But she no sooner got home from the hospital than she also had plumbing issues. It's just been a year. Okay. All right. So once it's waxed, then I just go ahead and I put the journals in, and I just fill it up with the months with journals. And when it's full, then I just start a new box. And this is the one I was cleaning off my desk, and I just had random bits of magazine images and things on the desk. So I just decided to use those on the box. Every time I do one is a little different. Yeah, so it's called Dorland's with a D at the end, Dorlands. It's a wax medium. It's intended for people who do like oil paintings. So it can take a bit to dry completely, although I don't put much on there and I just let it go. Once it's dry, though, it doesn't you don't have to worry about your piece getting hot and then having the wax drip off. We've all been there. So this is a great medium to have around, I think. So that was one kind of thing I had to do today. It's just kind of a maintenance thing. So I thought we'd do that. And then the other kind of funny thing is, I don't know if it's funny, haha, or funny like crazy. So I have this hanging off my desk because my table is in the middle of the room. And so when I want to use my heat gun, I have to plug it into this extension cord and run it to the wall. I use it a lot. So wrapping it up and putting it away after using it each time is kind of silly. At the same time, I have these little baskets hanging off a shelf at the end of my table. Hold on. I have 3 baskets. I'm going to show you all of them. Because this is what I do. Okay, so I have these 3 baskets. These are from Daiso. And this one I'm going to leave as is, but I'm going to show you. So they're nice because they have these hooks on them, and they're for hanging off of things like the IKEA Raskog cart or shelves, or you could hang them on pegboard and stuff like that. I use them off of the wire shelf at the end of my table to hold things like these weights. I use these weights all the time. These are the ends from an old pair of hand weights that my sister years ago was getting rid of. They make great fabric and art weights when I'm needing things to dry or wanting to weight fabric down while I'm cutting it out. You can see they've been well loved by me in the art room because they're full of stuff. Those usually live in one basket. But then, how many binder clips do you possibly need at your art desk? Like, I have a habit of doing this, and instead of putting things away or limiting how much of something I have, I just keep collecting it until I can't get any more in the space. And that's a problem. And my whole house would be filled up if I let that go. So, and most of these are too small to use to clip your journals together anyway. And there are 4 smaller weights in the bottom of this one basket, which honestly, I use the big ones more than the smaller ones. Not that I'm going to get rid of these, but they don't need to live in this basket by my desk. I put a piece of metal in the bottom of this one with the idea of putting my heat gun in there, and then it never landed in there. And I put the sheet metal in there so that, I'm going to flip that up so I don't poke myself, so that if it was hot, it wouldn't melt the plastic coating on the bottom of the wire basket. Yeah, so it doesn't need to be super cute. It just needs to be useful. And if I could just shove the gun in here and kind of fold the cord up and stick it in there, like when I'm not using it, that would be more practical than what I was doing. So my idea was to get all of this. Like this is really, I mean, this is a balloon weight. I don't need to keep that. I want to keep these, but they can go live somewhere else unless I need them. That I don't need. This is just, and then it gets to be so much that it's just completely overwhelming. So these big clips I do use. Oh, yay. Darlene, I'm glad you got somebody to take care of that. We have a break in the rain here where I am in Oregon, thankfully. So I also like these clips. And these pink ones work well too. Now these pink ones are from the Dollar Tree, and I think you get 6 or 8 of them for $1. They work really well, by the way. I'm not going to save these because they don't work super well. All these binder clips are cute and all, but they don't really work well for what I need. Not the small ones. I have all these teeny tiny ones in here, which are great for decoration, but they don't work to hold your journal open. When your journal looks like this little tiny clip doesn't do anything. These aren't bad. I think I'm going to just do that. I think that works. And we'll do something else with all of those. I'm going to hang this back on my table. Okay, one more, and then I can put the heat gun over here. Yay, that worked. So this is just, hold on, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like we did this the other day on a live. And, you know, I'm always thinking, oh, you know, I'm really doing good and I've caught up and, you know, there isn't too much to have to worry about and keep straight and keep clean and, you know, we've got it all. And I like lying to myself, I think. Well, I'm not going to fix the cord right now because that will take forever, but working on the clips leads me to this. So that's my drawer for my small bits bag of clips. So like, how many clips does a person need? And this is what happened to me like yesterday. I started out with doing one thing and getting some things ready for the patrons, because I'm going to be sending out some snail mail to those of you who are patrons and supporters, FYI. And while I did manage to get that ready, it led me to cleaning and purging. And I realized at the end of the day that I had this. And I thought, okay, I have just got to do something with that's crazy. That's too much. How many clips do I need? Hey, now. And this is what I keep finding in my collection of things is that at some point, like instead of buying just a small package of like 8 of these cute little mini teal clothespins, I evidently bought like 50 of them because there's like tons of them in here. But how many do I really need? Probably that's enough. And I'm never probably going to use the rest. I do like these mini binder clips because they are really cute to like just add to a journal cover or page. I see some clips in here that shouldn't even be in here. Again, something that I have a lot of. But anyway, let's look for these mini ones because I like these mini ones. They are great. There's some more. That doesn't go there. They're great for, and this style too, they're great for like just adding a little something to a cover, decorating a tag and adding it to the front of your journal. They add a little bit of, metal decoration without adding a ton of bulk. We'll talk about these in a minute. Okay, these with the hooks on them, these don't even go here. So these are what I use to clip stencils to my floor rack that I have here in the art room and hang my stencils from the floor rack. So, and that being said, I have a huge bag of them. So do I even need these would be the question. There's evidently a lot of them. Yep, there's a lot of them. I can see them. Are you guys finding that, I know this is like riveting content now. Are you guys finding that as the pandemic continues, that you are like so many of the rest of us, not just me, going through your art room, your house, and taking time to finally go through those parts and rooms that you've been kind of ignoring because you just don't want to deal with them, and you're finally like just taking a deep breath and just doing it? Or is it just me? I don't think it's just me. No worries. I will be putting some of these clips like in a purge box because I'm not going to just throw them away. Oh, well, at least it can be treated, Kathy, which is a good thing. So I'm pulling all the little ones out that I find, and all of these style because they don't even belong in here. We're putting them back. We're separating. Like, and this is the other thing. I just dumped a bunch of random stuff in here and it got crazy out of hand. Now these I like. I do think these are like a Tim Holtz thing. So, and that's kind of why I wanted to have this talk today, because I think there's a lot of you, Nell, that are, or Natalie, that are like that. First of all, take a deep breath and put on some happy music. I know that sounds like kind of silly, but just, it does work. And don't feel like, when I first started doing this, especially during the pandemic, it's easy to get overwhelmed. And like yesterday, I almost overwhelmed myself because that was crazy. One drawer, just one drawer. You don't have to do the whole room at the same time. Let's be honest. We're not going anywhere. And there is plenty of us in the creative community here on YouTube and Facebook to support each other in our journey with getting our spaces sorted the way we want them to be, to help you and keep you motivated. I don't even know why I have these. Does anybody have any idea? I don't even know. Don't feel like you, because one thing I'm guilty of is just feeling like I have to do the whole room like in an hour. You don't have to. It's very, Charmaine is not wrong. It's very easy to get overwhelmed. But Kathy is also right. Slow and steady wins the race. Just do, like last week we did it was 2 drawers, but we did the handmade embellishments. And I didn't do any more than that until yesterday. And I knew I had to do this, but at the same time, I knew I was on the verge of being overwhelmed, and it was time to just stop. Oh, I like that one. So I just let it go. I thought, you know what? We could do it on the live tomorrow, and we can chat about it. These I do think are also a Tim Holtz thing. Now, I do like these to add different things to the covers of my journal or to use on tags. Or honestly, I hang things from my pegboard that's behind the camera with these. So we'll save those. I also like these are like a slidey. I don't know what, like a slidey clip thing. I have so many craft in here. Yeah, so I'm right there with you. I have so many kinds of crafts that I love to do. What I have done lately, I like these, we're going to save those, is gone through all of them. There's a random bead in the clip drawer because I don't know why that's in there. No idea. And I think I missed the garbage can. That's all right. I'll step on it later and find it. Is go through them and decide if you really love them. If you do, I find for me, I used to sort things by art technique. So all the clay tools and supplies would be together. All of the sewing tools and supplies would be together. All the fabric would be together. What I'm finding is more often than not, technically I'm a mixed media artist, and it serves me better to have, other than a few exceptions, all the tools in one place. All the small bits, whether they're fabric or paper, in one place. All of the paint, whether it's acrylic, watercolor, or gouache, or in one place. And yeah, I have made a bigger mess. You can't get to the piece without getting into the chaos, in my opinion, when you're doing this, because I mean, if my husband wasn't working right now, I'd have him come in and tell you guys, in our old house, especially because my art room was really small, I do not know how many times I filled up the hallway with all the stuff that was in the art room. I think I talked about this last week. He would come home from work and just shake his head trying to get in the back door from the garage because I had filled up the hallway with everything that was in the art room. Hey, Lisa. Because I had emptied out the entire art room. But the problem with doing it that way is that it took me, a week to put it all back. I'm not sure about these. I don't know why I have them, but they look interesting enough for me to, if I'm unsure about letting them go, then I keep them. This is interesting. We'll keep that. These are like suspender clips. So, and these, or pacifier clips. These are actually pacifier clips. Yeah, Natalie, I probably bought them for junk journaling. Now, these are pacifier clips, and they're the kind of clip that when you push this flat piece of metal down, this locks. So once you do that, it's not going anywhere. And then it has this loop on the back so that you can hang a ribbon or something. Yeah, yep. Okay, so I do like these, so I do think I'm going to keep them. They don't need to live in the plastic bag. But anyway, I want to, I just want to encourage you all that, if you're happy with your space the way it is, cool. If you're not, then just take, one drawer or bin at a time and go through it and sort and organize, get rid of some stuff if it's not making you happy. If you spent money on it and you can't afford to just get rid of it or donate it, then, put it into a purge box or something and sell it in an Etsy shop. Or there's a lot of Facebook groups for letting go of old supplies and things that are no longer making you happy. So I'm going to keep these. Now our bin is almost full. Do I need to keep all of these? Probably not. So I'm going to put a few of them up here and get rid of them. Evidently, I went on a binder clip rampage. And you know what? I'm going to grab a few because I have room in my drawer that kind of make me happy. The rest are going to go. These, I'll show you why I don't need these. I did not know those were in there, or at least I didn't remember they were in there. And I have those. And in case you thought that was all of it, it's not all of it. So I have bigger clips and S hooks here. These, by the door, I have an old nightstand for my daughter's bedroom. And there's a drawer there that I store just random bits I don't need often. And here, yeah. So I have all of these, which these are the same. Yeah, they're like a curtain hook. I use them for holding my stencils to my rack. It just keeps coming. So what I thought today is I'm going to just tackle one category. So, and then deal with that one category. I already said I don't like them. So nothing wrong with them. I just don't care for, they have these little like things on the end. Can you see that? And you have to remember to like flip them in this way. Otherwise you get a weird mark on your page. They just make me crazy. The S hooks are a conversation for a different day, but I have too many of those also. We're not going to do anything with them today. How many of you know what that is, and does that just crack you up? That is a adapter for my iPod, not pad, iPod dock for my iPod speaker, which I don't even use anymore. Like, yeah, okay. And then this random, we have so many wrenches, that just needs to go. I don't even know why that's in here. So this is where the like big giant clips live. And this is also where the small weights are going to live. And they'll live in the drawer over there. But wait, you thought that was all of it, right? But wait. But wait. So I have more than just these two bags of these. So I'm going to tell you what I use these for, what they were originally for. And if you guys want any, you should let me know. We can like have you just pay for postage or something. So I have 2 LED lights in this room for lighting. Otherwise, this room is not very well lit. And we haven't replaced the light fixture yet. One of them is on a stand. And so when I move the stand, I have the pole, it's like a tripod pole. So the pole isn't very thick around. So I clip the wires for like the webcam and the power cord for the iPad, because it's plugged in right now, to the pole for the light with these, and it keeps them attached to the pole. It actually does a very good job for what I use it for. Do I need like 8 bags of them? No. So these, when my daughter and her husband bought a house, these were some of many things that were left in the house. It was kind of a hoarder house, to be honest. The parents passed away and the kids got rid of the house. Anyway, these are plant clips. These are intended for using in the garden for clipping plants to stakes, clipping vines to, when you are like growing like peas, you want to clip them up to the like a fence or something behind the peas. That's what these are supposed to be for. I find them great for clipping cords out of the way in the art room. I don't even need these 2 bags of them, much less the other 4 or 5 or 6 bags that are in the other closet, because I do have a lot of these. Trellis, that's it. Thank you, Kathy. Because, God forbid I should remember the English or anything. Anyway, these work great. And even for the cord for the heat gun, where it is right now, I could clip this like this to the side of the shelving or table next to me and run the cord through the clip, because it's got this big space for clipping to a trellis. These work really great in the art room. I just don't need this many of them. This is ridiculous. So some of them have got to go. And I have a lot more than this. So if you guys need any of these, let me know, because they're all going to go. But yeah, I'm going to keep this bag of clips, but these little brown ones, I don't need to have them. I used to get these little clips at Daiso, and they have a bigger one too that I have on another rack I used to dry papers. Those I'm not going to get rid of. They work great, but you can also buy them on Amazon. Yeah, clipping tomatoes to the cage. Yeah, they're great. I mean, listen, Kathy, you know very well, I live in Oregon. It is not a bright, sunny state. And I live next to the woods. So growing tomatoes here, I'm lucky if I get like 5 tomatoes. We keep trying, but we don't get enough sun. And I can't put them in the front yard where we get more sun, because then the deer will just eat them all. I have a lot of them. If somebody wants any, there is a lot of them. So I'm going to let all of these are going to go away. I need something to stick them in. You would think I'd have a box around here somewhere, but no. But no, I don't know. Do I? Maybe. Let's see. We will temporarily put them in this box. Okay, Laura, see you later. So if you have a stash of something like this and you're wanting to clean and purge your art room, just do the one category. It takes just a few minutes and bam, you're done. Yeah, so I might want to do something like that in the front yard with the tomatoes, provided the HOA isn't going to like say anything bad about it. Okay, now should we work on a journal page now? So this is my moleskin. I have a video on how I like expanded the spine because, you know, it's getting really fat. We did this quick page last week. When I was cleaning, I found some jelly prints with my art foamies that I forgot I did and I want to use in the book. So we're going to use some or all of these. I think I'm just going to use a glue stick. They do. So yeah, see, look. Because they're so big, they open really wide. See? So especially if you have journals like mine that tend to get really chunky, these work really well. I mean, it's a nice, sturdy, strong clip. I just don't need 6 or 8 bags of them. That's crazy. Private message me. Anyway, okay, so we're going to start with, we're going to start with that one, maybe. Does he want to be on there? He might want to be on there. So this is one of my art foamies, one of the zombie doll art foamies, and I printed him on here. And then I wrote, "Don't wait in the dark, make your own solution." I don't know why I wrote that on there, but okay. So I'm not going to fussy cut him. I'm going to tear him out. And this is a page that last week I just wiped paintbrushes and stuff off on from another project I was working on. And I'm just, let's see, putting my finger here so I don't tear too far into the design. I'm sure this is not new to you. You guys probably are like, yeah, I've done that. I also want to encourage you while we're sitting here chatting and I'm tearing paper, you know, if you're reorganizing your art space again, because hello, we can't go anywhere, and you want to get your space sorted so that it makes you happy and you can be creative and you can get your frustrations and feelings and emotions out in a healthy way in your art, all which are all good things. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You know, one thing I do is really try to use what I have around the art space, see if I have something else I can repurpose from another room that's maybe not working so well in that other room, but maybe would work really well in my art space. But there's also a lot of affordable solutions out there, some of which are from the Dollar Tree. I think, no, he fits just barely, Kathy. Once I tear the excess paper off, there is a smaller version of this when you look at the Art Foamies page, and the smaller one would probably work better on here. But of course, that's not the one that I used. Ooh, lemon curd. Oh, nice, Natalie. We all want to come to your house now. All right, so now I have my gouache paints out next to me. My acrylic gouache. There's some water-soluble gouache tubes in here. It's my tubes. There we go. Tubes of paint. I'm feeling like, because of what it says on here, I'm okay with the dark colors in the background, but I feel like he needs to have like a glow behind him. So I'm thinking this color will work. Yellow, orange, light. This is Blick Matte Acrylic. And I'm going to use the paint that's in the lid. I should probably put my glasses on because, you know, there we go. Oh, hey, that's brighter. I can see that better. Now, when I do art journal, if you've been watching me for a while, you know this already. I'm not about necessarily covering the entire page. I think that if you have a page that is like an old planner like this one is, the texture of the printing in the background just makes things interesting. I almost went to go put this away and drop it in my cup of water next to me. I don't think that's what I meant to do. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Rag. Oops. All right, let's do, this is black. And then I have gray. All right. Rinse off the brush, sort of, a little bit, kind of. Now these are matte acrylics, so when they dry, they're going to be very flat, and so then it makes it really easy to draw over and journal on top of. Well, it looks like that's the color I used in the background, so bonus. Right? Okay, and then we'll take some black, but I want a different mark making tool. Let's see. I'm going to use this. Will it work? I don't know. We'll find out. We will use the back of this card. Now, in case you missed it before anybody asks, these are the protective caps off of a bunch of new paintbrushes I just bought. I just glued them all together. It's not perfectly flat, so you get sort of an imperfect mark, but I'm okay with that. You'll notice I'm not doing a lot right here. That's because I know that's where he's going to go. So okay. Yep. All right. So now it's time to dry. Oh, helps if I turn the power on. That's another thing. If you guys are feeling like, you know, as part of what's happening with the world, you're getting, you know, forgetful and sort of losing it, you're not alone. It's part of the stress. Get out those art supplies, clean your art space, keep yourself busy, and turn off the news. I say that with love in my heart, and as somebody who's a fellow sufferer. I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder, among other things, a long time ago. I am currently unmedicated and have been for a long time. I have emergency things if I need them, but haven't needed them. Okay. Don't know if that one's dry, but not completely, but that's okay. So now let's get this little guy glued on. So the trick with using a glue stick in your journal, a lot of glue. That's the only trick. Use a lot of glue. So I'm going to glue the back of him, and then I'm going to glue the page. And then I'm going to take my spreader. And if there's any places where I missed, it is. I really like it. And, you don't need, expensive stuff to make interesting marks in your art. I missed putting glue in these one spaces, so that always happens. So then I just put some and then do this. Some of my favorite mark making tools are homemade ones. I do have a lot of rubber stamps, including some of my own designs. And one of the things I did yesterday, I talked about in my friends chat, and there's pictures of things coming out in the February Use It or Lose It video. But I went through all my rubber stamps, and I got rid of a large priority mailbox full of rubber stamps. And I pulled some out, and once a month I'm going to pull out different ones to use in my art, because I love my rubber stamps, and I love my rubber stamps that I own and I've designed. And let me turn off that automatic autofocus thing. That's going to make me crazy. Hold on. It's popping in and out. Stop that. Oops. Okay. So one of the things that I love are my rubber stamps and the one I've designed, but if they're stuck in the closet, I'm not using them. So I pulled them out, and every month I'm going to pull out different ones, and we're going to use some of them in the art. Yeah, art is definitely my medicine, Kathy, and that's what helps keep me from going off the deep end. And I don't say that lightly. Bubble wrap works too, and like this one is another favorite. And maybe we'll use this one. This is just glued together pieces of cardboard packaging. That's all this is. Let's see. So then, and I usually do this on a piece of card, or, or sometimes I'll break out one of my jelly plates and I'll use it like an ink pad. See? It's just glued together pieces of cardboard with a little tiny piece in between the bigger pieces so that they're spaced apart to make these lines. That's all it is. So Kathy, same. But over the years, I really kind of gotten real and honest with myself. When I first did my first purge of rubber stamps, it was all the holiday stuff. So other than this last Christmas where I did the December daily, but I did it in a unique kind of way, I don't like making Christmas stuff. You can't see it. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Camera issues. There we go. So that's what this does. So when I first did my first purge, I just got rid of all the holiday stuff because I don't enjoy doing holiday cards or holiday things. Probably because I did a lot of holiday craft shows back in the day, as I'm sure we all did, trying to sell our arts and crafts and make a little money. And it just wasn't really my thing. So those were easy to get rid of. And then over the years, I just looked at, I would save things I wasn't sure of, like with any of the purges I've done. And then if they were still here, after a year, but I hadn't used them, maybe it was time to let them go. Not unlike that closet thing where you refresh, because I can see it on the camera. It's nothing but camera issues today. Anyway, it's not unlike that closet thing where you do with your clothes, where if you follow some of the methods, they have you turn all your hangers backwards. And then as you wear the clothes, you turn it the hanger the other way. And at the end of a year, anything that's still hanging backwards is stuff you haven't worn. So maybe it needs to go away. It's the same kind of idea. It's just, the last couple of weeks with YouTube and Ustream, and I think we had problems, didn't we, the other day on Zoom, Kathy? It's just been crazy. Anyway, that was these lines here. That was done with this. This is a priority mailbox. And when I glued them together, I wanted one end flat, so I did it on the table. And I would take a big piece, glue a little piece to it, take the next big piece flat on the table and glued it, so that I did it like pressed up against the table so that the bottom part would be flat. I also like bottle caps for making marks, and I evidently have a lot of them, and I don't think that's a good thing, but some of them had to go. Like, that was crazy. You shouldn't save everything. Do the bin system. And, give yourself a bin like the drawer of clips. And once it gets full, you need to either purge it or use it before you can get more. I'm right there with you, wanting to save every single box that comes through the house because I can, quote unquote, use it for something. But then my house is just full of boxes that I never use. So that's what the recycle bin is for. Or friends that maybe need a box. It's weird. The camera issues are very strange. There is an update for my computer. I have an iMac. It asked me this morning when I booted up to get ready for today if I wanted to do the update. I am not doing the update right before a live. I am not that crazy. I'll do it after we're done. Let's find some words. Oh, do we even need words? I don't know. Maybe. Let's get the words out just in case. So this is how I store all my words. I use words in lots of my art. And these are pencil pouches from Dollar Tree. And I've just used some of the cable binder clip things, these, to clip a bunch of them together. And then I have different kinds of words in each pouch. And Laura Gregain and I were chatting the other day with Kathy, and we were talking about the tea bag quotes. Kathy, yeah, there's more downstairs. I have plenty to share. Ooh, maybe I'll put some in the patron envelopes. That might be a good idea. Right? So no, yeah, I was not going to do that right before I went live. I thought that was kind of not a bright idea. So I'll do it later. So these are word downloads from my Etsy shop. Ooh, there's a word that sticks right out to me right there. Now, do I have maybe in the Tim Holtz Big Chat stickers? Let's see. Nope. I could spell have. Because I have these. Yeah, this is great. I use this I've been using this for 2 years like this. It is if you're like me, you have a lot of letters and word stickers, and I don't use them for scrapbooking anymore. I use them for art journaling. That being said, they were all over the place, and this works great for me. I should be using tweezers for this, and I should have my glasses on, but 1 out of 2 isn't bad because it's going to come out crooked, but that's okay. There we go. So again, this was inexpensive. This is from the Dollar Tree, and any pencil pouches will work. I liked these because they're clear on both sides. And I have like miscellaneous stuff here. This is all Tim Holtz Big Chat stickers. I think there's some of the little chat stickers in here too. Basically Tim Holtz. These are cards and some things in here that don't belong, but that's okay. Cards, letter cards and word cards. I think these might also be from Ranger. These are tea bag quotes and fortune cookies. These are things I've printed or cut out of magazines, and these are words printed on fabric. These are things I've punched or printed on my computer. Yeah, so it's the same idea. So you can just flip through it and go, ooh, I want to use that. Or, ooh, I think I want to use one of these. You can just flip through it easily rather than digging through a pile. The digging through a pile is okay for me for some things, but not everything. Okay, is that dry? Yep. So we can turn the page and do another one. So that's how that page turned out. I'll be sharing it later on social media. It was quick and easy. Your pages don't have to be complicated. I am going to need a clip now because, yeah. My journal's fat. Don't tell it I said that. Okay. So now we have all these other ones here. Ooh, I like this one. There's another zombie guy. I'm only using these zombie ones because I found a big stack of them, just so you all know. And I do want to use them all in pages. And then there was this one that you can't, this is an art foamy on a gel plate. You probably can't read it because it's red on pink, but it says, my love is, let's see. My love is as bright as the moon and the stars. I don't know why I wrote that on here. I have no idea. I don't want that. No, it's too pink. Maybe that one. The message on him is not great. It says dead to me. Love the red and green one. This one. Yeah, I'm thinking this guy. I have this one too. Okay. Yeah, and you know, again, you could use a shoebox. You could use a cardboard mailing box that you got something in the mail in, and just organize them maybe in clear plastic folders. You could make the clear plastic folders out of clear plastic packaging materials from something else. The bright one. Oh, this one. This one, Kathy? You guys tell me which one. This one? This one. Okay. I don't know what it's going to say, but we'll use that one. Again, I'm going to tear the edge closer to the paint in the background. We don't need all this white paper. And again, this is just a wipe off page from something else that I was doing, that I was filming. And so if I want to, I can just cover the whole background with another color because it's not that big a deal. Because that's just, I don't like to have the paint get wasted. And this is a Moleskine journal that I work in, so the paper is pretty thin. So that extra layer of matte acrylic paints or matte gouache paints kind of acts like gesso. And looking at this, I might use, not that one. Yeah, this one in the background with some white. Yep, he's a skeleton. So he's part of the zombie doll set. You get the big one. I shouldn't say that. He's part of the zombie doll series. There's this one, there's one with stitching lines, and then there's the skeleton. I don't remember if the set has 2 or 3 in it, but you guys can look it up on the Art Foamies website. I feel like my brain isn't fully engaged today. Is anybody else feeling that way? Of course, I will say I feel that way more often than not. Thank you, COVID. How cute would that be on here? We do some of this paint in the background. I've got this color. Like, what if we change the background up a little bit? And I have these are probably the colors I used on there. All right. I do think I'm going to want a gift card. Yeah. So just so you know, you guys aren't alone. You know, I keep making fun of myself because I keep saying that, you know, I can't remember the words for things. It's a stress thing. And, you know, I don't have the luxury of some people like my friend, I know Laura. I don't know about you, Darlene, but I know Laura speaks French. I don't have the luxury of some of you that know other languages. I barely know English on a good day. And, you know, when things are tough the way they are right now, like, I just feel like a moron because I can't remember anything. I was trying one day to remember the word buffering because YouTube was just being ridiculous and I couldn't remember what it was called to save my life. It was just stupid. It's probably too much over there of that red, but that's okay. So I'm lucky to know how to say sprechen Sie English. So in German, and that's only because we went there and I had to say it a lot. So I want to make it look more uneven. I'm just getting in here with a baby wipe. Let's see. I'm kind of liking getting this mark making tools thing out. I haven't done that in like 5 million years. Let's get a silicone tool. Ooh, let's get this out. Okay. Is this still wet maybe? Some of it is. This is a silicone scraper tool. I took 3 years of French in high school, but I don't remember any. Which is funny because I think I got a B in the class. But that was a long time ago. I don't know what this page is supposed to say. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, my husband used to, I guess, sing different songs taught by his dad in German. I don't know that he remembers any of them. His dad was born in Hamburg. He's passed away now, but yeah. So this is a hair coloring brush. I want to have it be like in the same idea as the jelly plate print. You, when you are using your stamps and stencils in your journals, of course, you can do them right in the journal, but sometimes it's nice to do a bunch of prints on, this is just plain dollar store drawing paper, and then go through the prints afterwards and figure out which ones you like I did, and then paste them into your journal and kind of try to match the background to what's going on in the drawing. Okay, dry it. Yeah, my husband's always saying, other than the song that he sang as a kid, the only other German words he recognizes are bad words. And he doesn't speak any German, so. Okay. Now the question is, do I want it? That's pretty busy. See, I have a lighter green. That's a great question. I have a bin of painty papers, and all my painty papers live in the bin. And again, I do the bin system because I know me. I'll just save one of everything, and that'll make it so that I don't use any of it. And so once the bin gets full, then I have to pull things out and either sell them, give them away, or use them. So fun fact, I don't do a ton of painty papers unless I'm running low. That's better. So I use the Target Y-Weave bins. This one here next to me is the small one where the gouache paints are in. I use the medium-sized one for things like painty papers. So you can look online and see how big that is. It's about, I don't know, 12 by like 14. And it's probably 6 inches deep. Oh, look at him. He looks great on that page. I like that. Okay, now what does he need to say, though? Let's see. What speaks to us? Sometimes it takes me longer to find what needs to be on the page than it does to create the page. What are these? See, I have to stop doing this. I buy like pads of words. Because, oh, words. Ooh, they're cheap at the dollar store. Doesn't mean they need to come home with me. Let's see what's on here. Let's see. Did you get that? Should it say that? That's funny. These are some Teresa Collins words. Oh, maybe there's 2 sentences on here, though, that fit. So the first one says, time flies in the blink of an eye. And then I think that question, did you get that? That speaks to me today. That's pretty funny. There. So one of the reasons I have these in here is because I'm messy. And even with those in, I sometimes get paint on the prior page. And so, yeah, that's like a thing. Like I mess up my pages all the time. Good thing I don't care if they're not perfect. Also, evidently, there was some wet glue on there. There we go. See, I got a little pink. That's fine. No worries, Kathy. So I have a bin. So I do the bin system, and I have a bin of painty papers. And so I don't do a lot of jelly prints unless that bin is running low. When I am wanting to do some more jelly prints, if the bin is full, then I go through the bin and I do some purging, and I don't throw them away. I usually pass them on to somebody who can use them, or I pull them out like I did these, knowing that I want to use these in the journal, to use them up. I have a tray that's over that way behind the iPad. You'll see in an upcoming video that lives on the end of the table, which is where tools and supplies that I want to use up or make a point of using going forward. That's where the rubber stamps are. That's where there is a folder of painty papers and bits and bobs that I want to use. That's also where all the journals that I'm currently working on are. Everything else is in the bin, or I don't have it. Yeah, so the lime green was perfect, and that was Turner acrylic gouache in the color, I don't know because I don't have my glasses on again. Oh, J green light is what it says. I don't know what the J stands for, but it says color 343-A. But it's just a lime green. He's cute. I like that page. But yeah, so I have a bin. I use the Target Y-Weave bins for storage, and this one here with the paint in it. Hold on. Okay. This one here with my journal, these are my art journaling paints. They're all matte finish or gouache paints. This is the small Y-weave bin. I use a medium one for painty papers. And yeah, so if the bin gets full, then I make journals and then I'll list them in the Etsy shop, or I'll just make envelopes of paper and send them off to friends or sell them in the Etsy shop or something like that. But yeah, the bin system works really well for me. I mean, everybody's different, but I can even show you. Hold on, because I can get the bin. I know exactly where it's at. Hold on, so I know where something's at. Right now it's full. I don't even think it's going to fit on camera. So and it's labeled on the end. So it says painted papers, copies, dryer sheets, wipes, paint skins, transparencies, and dead canvas. So all of that sort of DIY junky collage paper stuff is in here. So there's distress papers, paint skins. Dead canvas just means a painting that I did that I didn't like, that I took off the canvas, and the fabric is good for a journal cover. These kind of, what are these? These are like prayer papers. I don't know, I got from somewhere. They live in this. There's wrapping paper, old wallpaper. When I do things for the Etsy shop, I have to make color copies. And so then if I think I can use the copy, it goes in here. Copies of journal pages, things printed on old typewriter paper. This makes great collage paper. Maybe I'll pull one of those out to use. More copies, plastic, packaging material. This is Tyvek envelope. Painted and inked and then melted with a heat gun. Oh, that's a good one, Kathy. Maybe I'll type that up and add it. So that's all of this stuff, this whole thing. There's some sun prints in the bottom, painted tags. But yeah, this bin is full right now, so that means I can't add too much more to it. And if you haven't seen it, I have cube storage. It's behind the camera. So I have a wall of low cube storage, and the bins fit in the cubbies. Each square has 2 bins in it for the most part. The ones on the bottom just have one big bin. Your old paper shrinks and wrinkles on the gel plate. What kind of old paper now, before I try to answer that question? So depending on what the paper is, while I'm waiting for a response, it could just be because of the water and the paint is reacting that way with the paper. And sometimes the paper gets, when it dries, it gets wavy. And the best way to solve that is just go ahead and let it dry and then turn it paint side down on your ironing board and just iron it. Cotton typing paper. Yeah, I would just iron it because it wasn't really meant to get wet. Now this is old typing paper, but I put it through my printer rather than print right on it. If you have a paper you're not sure of the content or how much heat it can take, I would maybe put it between some muslin or some kind of scrap cotton fabric for a pressing cloth, or scrap thicker paper. But don't get the iron too hot until you know how much heat it can take. But I would just iron them flat. When I do inky papers, I'll show you. Hold on. I knew I should have left that bin out. Okay, I did these recently because I was using up some old ink and paint. And all of these are, first of all, dollar store drawing paper. So not the best paper on the planet, but it's nice and thin. And so when you go to collage with it, it works great and doesn't add a ton of bulk to your book. Number one, you get a whole pad of it for $1, number two. And it does really well with absorbing the paint and ink. Now these, I crinkled these up into a ball, then spread them back out flat, then got them wet and let them dry in a cookie sheet. They were wrinkly as hell, and they still are a little bit. But once they were completely dry, I took them off the cookie sheet and I ironed them flat. And so now they're all pretty flat now. Some of them were more wrinkly than others, but where all of this ink is darker, that's where the wrinkles were. Now I did iron it on a pressing cloth, between a pressing cloth, until I was sure that not the paper, I knew the paper could take it, but that the ink wouldn't rub off on my iron because I also sew, and I didn't want ink all over my iron. But that being said, they ironed fabulously. And yeah, some of them are really pretty on the back. Some of them got, you know, more water than others. But yeah. And this was like, you know, sometimes you're painting and you have, you know, ugly paint water, or you have a palette with leftover paint on it. If it's water soluble, you can add water to the palette and then sort of squeegee it off into a small container or jar, add some more water to that, make sort of an inky painty mixture with it. And that's how I did these. And in case you're wondering, because you didn't get that explanation, when I'm watercoloring, or sometimes art journaling, if I'm using water-soluble paints like watercolor gouache, of some of which are in this bin somewhere. Well, I can't find them right now, but anyway, I have some watercolor gouache I do use when I'm painting. And I have a tendency to put a dot or 3 or 10 on this mixing plate. When I'm done with my page, if I don't want to let the paint dry on the palette and reuse it again, because I can reconstitute it with water, right? If I don't want to use it again and I want to just wipe the plate, instead of wiping it and just throwing the paint away, I will get the paint on the palette really wet, mix it all together, scrape it up off the palette, and then I will get a jar and I will dump the inky painty water off into the jar, add some extra water. That's what is in here. Put the lid back on, give it a shake. It comes out some sort of bluey gray color because you're mixing all these different colors together. You're gonna get some kind of neutral. But then when you wanna do painty paint, just make sure before you do this, the lid's on tight. Trust me on that, it makes a mess. And just you give it a good shake. And then you have this nice bluey gray color that you can just distress some papers with. You don't have to, you know, one of the things this channel is going to be about going forward, for sure, is just encouraging you all that, you know, yes, if you want to buy new tools and supplies, go for it because they're great if you can afford it and it's in your budget. You don't have to. You want to make inky painted papers? Cool. Use your leftover paint. Like if I was really more with it, I could scrape this off and get it watery. Distress your papers with your leftover paint. I had a dried up fountain pen not long ago. Yeah. The cartridge that was in there had ink in it, but it was dry and it wouldn't work. So I put a new cartridge in it and I was going to throw the old one away. And I thought there is some ink in there. So I took one of those little jars. I put it in the jar. I put some water in the jar. And you know what? It reconstituted the ink and I was able to distress some papers with that. Even if you don't want to use paint water. So you could use, again, the dried up paint on your palette. You know, if you like distressed papers, you don't have a lot of them, and you've painted a journal page like this one, and you've got paint on your palette, before you put it away, put the journal to the side, get your pad of dollar store paper out or whatever you're using to make your painty distressed papers with. You put that on there with some water, distress a few sheets until you clean off the palette. Let them dry along with the journal page. And if you do that every time, pretty soon you're going to have a good, decent selection of painty papers. You can also use coffee, tea. I boiled a bunch of avocado pits recently, and I got this interesting color I'll be using hopefully sometime soon. We may do that on the next live where we do some papers. It'll be interesting because you guys won't be looking down at the table if I do that. You'll be looking from the side because I have this whole like way of drying the papers, and it requires lots of walking around and all of that stuff. And I love vintage typing paper. To go back to Nell's question, the vintage typing paper is great because you do have some thinness. It collages down really well. But I would definitely put it between some dollar store drawing paper or some cotton before you try to iron it flat. But yeah, it probably can't take the water content of the paint that you used to print on it with. And that's why it's wrinkly and warped. Cool. Yeah, I have this whole like clothing drying rack thing that I use. Yeah. So maybe we'll do that next week. I like the challenge of using the vintage papers in my art, and I like the challenge of working with paper that's not intended to be used with water mediums. When I first started watercoloring, I used drawing paper to watercolor on. You shouldn't really do that, but it was interesting. Yeah, and Kathy was saying he should say just another day in paradise. I don't think she's wrong. I have a vintage typewriter behind me off camera. Let's see if we can get it to work today. It's a vintage manual typewriter. Yeah, so they do sometimes. And when you have a textured paper, it's sometimes difficult to jelly print with. I try to embrace the flaws, like in this one. But sometimes it's just frustrating. If you want a thin paper, but your vintage typing paper isn't working because it's too textured, like there's definitely a texture to this. Maybe try printing with deli paper instead, or tissue paper. Although I think the tissue paper would wrinkle or tear trying to lift it. I think you'd be better off with the deli paper. Oh, thank you. This is vintage typing paper. I just printed one of my older designs on with the computer. This, fun fact, is a design that was from the old Happy Mail and letter journaling days from Crazy Island Family. Who remembers that? And this is a design that went out to somebody that I did. I liked it so much I scanned it before I sent it off. Who remembers all that? One of you all has that out there if you kept it. So deli paper, you can get deli paper in a lot of different places. I kind of want this here somewhere. But it needs to be smaller. I usually go to some place like Smart and Final, but you can get it at Fred Meyer, the grocery store, really. Yeah, that works. So yeah, anybody who remembers Crazy Island Family, happy, what is it? Letter journals and Happy Mail days. This was on an envelope that I sent off to somebody back in the day. And this right here, homemade mark making tool, that's cardboard packaging. I still have that one. So you're right, Kathy. He did need to say that. So it says, time flies in the blink of an eye. Did you get that? Just another day in paradise. I love that. That's perfect. So, and the vintage typing paper, by the way, I just happened to like be out thrifting back in the day when we could all still do that. And I was at a shop that I didn't think had any office supplies. And I turned a corner and they had a pack of vintage typing paper, 2 packs of Avery label paper, and something else I don't remember. And I was like, I'll take that. And I think the whole bundle of it was like $1. Now I am going to flatten the wet paint on this card that I used as like a makeshift palette because the back of it has this print on it, and I'd like to kind of use that on something someday. So deli paper is just thin. I can show you a sheet, Heather. Actually, the whole box. The other thing you might find that works like deli paper. Okay, this is deli paper. This is I got this at a restaurant supply store a long time ago, and I still have most of the box. It had 500 sheets in it. That's a lot of deli paper. So if you get a box like this, you probably don't need to buy more than one. It makes great palette paper, great paper for doing jelly prints. You also can do parchment paper. The parchment paper is a little thicker than the deli paper. You can see the difference. But they're the same idea. This is parchment paper sheets. So instead of a roll, it's on sheets. And this is from Fred Meyer, aka Kroger. This one is from the restaurant supply store. So if you have one of those near you, and if you're not in the US, I don't know if you even have those at all, but here we have things like Smart and Final and other different kind of cash and carry, and they carry deli paper, big boxes like this. Yeah, so the parchment paper is a little thicker and it's not going to like disappear as much. Lisa's not wrong. The deli paper, once you get it wet with a medium and you glue it down, it barely shows. The vintage typing paper tends to react like the deli paper. The problem is, as was pointed out earlier, it's a bit of a textured paper. So if you want to deli print directly on it and then use that on your page, you probably need to iron it and try to get it a little flatter, or just be okay with the fact that it's wrinkly. And once the paint dries on it, it may wrinkle even more. So you probably need to iron it some afterwards. Yeah, so good thing I had them, because we were doing some baking the other day. We were literally out of tin foil, and I'm like, wait, I have parchment paper upstairs. Both of those usually live over by my painting easel, because I usually use them for makeshift palettes. That way I'm not constantly washing things out in the sink. They're big. Does it say on here? Oh yeah, it does. 10 3/4 by 15 inches. So they're big, but you definitely could cut them in half. And if your husband has a table saw, you could just bring the box home and have him chop it in half before you even bring it upstairs. No worries, Lisa. Yeah, it's scale paper. Is that the kind of paper, Darlene, that they put on the scales like at the grocery store before they weigh things? I am not a huge fan of using tissue paper because it rips very easily. So I usually use deli paper. That doesn't mean I don't have tissue paper, but I find deli paper or parchment a lot more versatile. Well, Kathy, he and my husband could be friends because, that's all I can say about that. That's a cute image. It's going to end up in something at some place at some point. All right. I think that's it for the minute. But yeah, you don't need to have fancy stuff to do art journaling. Again, packaging. These are packaging materials that normally would have gone in the trash. These are the caps off a bunch of paintbrushes. You could use straw. You could do this with straws. So you could get a bunch of straws, and they come in different sizes. Drinking straws come in different sizes. You could collect them in different sizes and glue them together. And then this is just literally pieces of a priority mailbox glued together with little smaller pieces in between as spacers. Yeah, when it's safe. So yeah, so it's the size of copy paper, but it's the stuff they use on, yeah, that would work. Any thin paper will work. And again, when you print with it, if it prints and it comes out afterwards, it's all like wrinkly, get out your iron. If you're like me, you don't iron your clothing. I don't iron my clothing. If I need clothing ironed, I give it to my husband to iron. Fun fact. I have an iron up here. I use it for crafting. I use it for ironing paper and stuff, the occasional fabric project, but I iron the paper flat if it comes out wrinkly, and I need to collage it down into a journal. And my favorite collage paper, jelly print paper, again, is from the dollar store. It's dollar store drawing paper. You too, everybody. Have a great day. We do have, again, a sale going on in the Etsy shop for stamps and stencils. I'm not going to stop making them. I'm not, for no other reason than we're just trying to reduce inventory a little bit to reduce overhead. I'm still going to be having them available. Stamps that are currently sold out will at some point be available, shipped to you direct from the manufacturer. I just don't need to carry as many of them in stock. So they are up for sale until the 20th of February. So maybe buy yourself a Valentine's Day present. Support the free content how you can. There is Patreon and YouTube membership and stuff here. I am getting ready to send some things out to all of you, those of you who are watching. And if you have a favorite content creator, please think about supporting them if you can. I know they'd appreciate it without even asking them. If you can't find how to do that, then maybe send them a private message. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay creative. Please wear a mask and go out and do something nice for yourself because you deserve it. Even if the only thing you're able to do is go for a walk around the block because hello, COVID, which I'm going to do today before the sun goes down because it is bright and sunny and beautiful outside. All right. And if you have any messages or you're interested in the blocks of clips or any of the green clips we showed earlier, private message me, send me a direct message on one of the social medias or email me, and we'll get that worked out. I do have a bunch of purge boxes that are still for sale, and there's a video that I need to edit that will be coming out soon that is the use it or lose it video, and I talk about all the purge boxes and show you the couple of new ones that I have. I think that's it right now. Anyway, If you need encouragement for getting your space straight, let me know. I'm always around. All right. That's it, everybody. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.